wisdom and understanding. So we're helping you, because just reading it, you still read it with the mindset of a sleeping man. A man that may have been in a coma and has awakened to an understanding in a time where things are so different. It's just like a prisoner. If a prisoner has served 30 years and he comes out into society now, he don't recognize anything. He has to be taught. Yeah, he knows how to open up a door and close the door and walk and talk, but he has to be taught how to function in this new world he's been brought into. You've been brought into a new world, Israel. You've been brought into a new understanding. So now you have to learn how to read it so that you can know what to apply and what not to apply, and what to tell somebody. Because you go tell people, oh, read Psalms 23, hold on to Psalms 23. It's not going to do you any good. Psalms 3 has nothing to do with you. It's something you can read about your king and see how he felt about his God. Your God. This is how he felt. This is how he talked with him. These are the things he said to him. You can't say them. You don't stand in this stead. You're not the king of Israel. Let's keep on going. He says, let's finish off verse 4. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You get no comfort. There's no comfort for you. There's no peace. There's no rest. There's none of those things. Let's look at, let's see. Let's don't go there yet. Let's finish this. Let's finish some more of this. Let's go down to verse 5. Thou preparest a table before me, personal me, in the presence of mine enemies. Now you know that's not true. Y'all go to Piggly Wiggly, Marsh, and Kroger's, and any other store that you got in your town to go and buy your food. You got to work for it. You got to go to the store, and then you got to be cheap. Some of us have to be on the cheap, because we can't just walk in there and throw everything we want in our car and go right to your own house and prepare it and cook it. King David said the Father prepares. You, God, you prepares the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. God don't do that for you. You go inside your house, close the door, and you turn on either that gas stove or you turn on that electric stove and you cook a meal. Best way you can. If you got power. If you even on the stove. If it ain't went out on Fritz. This does not apply to you. Okay, maybe you get it as we go on. Thou anointest my head with oil. Stop. Many people were anointed in the Old Testament. The prophets and people. They were anointed. The priest. But there was one main one that God anointed. He anointed David. Now listen to this. Let's go to 1 Samuel 16, and we're going to read 1 through 3. Let's take a look at this. And the Lord said unto Samuel, How long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? This is the Father. Fill thine horn with oil, and go. I will send thee to Jesse, the Bethlehemite. Now check this out. Bethlehemite. Now, that's something else I want to hit on for y'all. Now, he says send him to Jesse. He didn't say the Judite, because we know he's a Judite, because we know King David sprang out of Judah. King David did. He came from the tribe of Judah. That's where kings come from. Does that mean that his father wasn't Hebrew? Hey, he was a Bethlehemite. He wasn't no Hebrew. That's the first thing you're going to say. But y'all got to understand, when y'all read this word and it tells you about somebody living someplace else, God, you got to know this about your God. Your God deals with Hebrew Israelites. He told Abraham that he would have children that would multiply the stars, as many as the stars. So you think all those people lived on 1 acre of land. Billions, millions and millions of stars up there. But yet all Abraham's people lived on 1 plot of land. They were everywhere. They were everywhere. Because when we had children Those children grew up, they separated, and they went off and started families. So God had Israelites everywhere. All right? So we know where Jesse was. For I have provided me, personal God, me, a king among his sons. Verse 2. And Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And the Lord said, take an heifer with thee, and say, I am come to sacrifice to the Lord. God set that thing up. And call Jesse to the sacrifice. And I will show thee what thou shalt do. And thou shalt anoint unto me him whom I name unto thee. And we know that's King David. So God anointed King David. And David says that in Psalms 23. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over, not yours. Your cup don't run over, and it never effing will. Your cup's not going to run over here in Egypt. Like I said, y'all scared to pick up the phone. Half of you, somebody want to borrow some money. But if your cup runs over, you wouldn't worry about these things. If your cup ran over, your family would be cared for. Your cup don't run over. King David's cup ran over. He had everything he could possibly need. That's not you. That's not your prayer. That's your king's prayer. That's your king who had a mighty rod and a mighty staff in his hand, who ruled Israel, who was anointed by the Holy One of Israel to be his king. And the king didn't need for anything. King didn't want for anything. But you, Israel, you want. You're in need. You're suffering right now. You're going through hell because you're on punishment. It was not for you. None of this. This is something you can read about. This is something you can find out about. But it's not about you. It's not something you can say. It's not something you're supposed to give to somebody else and say, here, apply this to your life. Your cup shall run over. You don't tell nobody their cups run over. David's cup did. Let's keep on going. He says, surely, verse 6, goodness and mercy shall follow. Who? It ain't following you. It sure ain't following me. He said, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all of the days of my life. Not yours. How's surely goodness and mercy following you? They're not following you. If you had goodness and mercy, you know you'd be just like King David. He didn't say goodness and mercy followed Israel. It followed him. God was with him, allowing him to reign as king over Israel the way God wanted him to. You got the chance of the lottery. Some of y'all got these places you can go and you pull tickets, and if they pay you on your job, you don't have goodness and mercy following you. You have what they call in this kingdom luck. If God chooses to bless you, if God don't choose to bless you. But David knew he was blessed. Surely. You ain't assured of anything. You're not even assured they're not going to take your car. You're not even sure if you're going to be put out on the streets. You're not even sure if you're going to have a meal. You're not sure of anything. Words. Placement of words. Possession. Disposition. You got to learn how to look at these words and get an understanding from, like I told you, wisdom and understanding. Now we're going to finish up this thing here. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now let's look at this thing, because I want you to know for sure what I'm talking about. Let's go to 1 Samuel and we'll read 17 and 37. Now, when David said, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. When David said, I walk through the valley of the shadows of death, and I fear no evil. Let's look at why David said that. David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of a lion, out of the paw of a bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. Huh? Not you. Y'all scared of dogs. They got these pit bulls and whatever all them. I don't know what all the names of them are, but they got these dogs. They got all these signs. Beware of dog. Y'all, some cats are crazy. Where y'all live at, you better not hope a bear is out there or a lion. He will eat you the hell up. This is King David. His experiences with his father. He's having a conversation. Have any of you men or ever sat down with your father or your mother and y'all had a long talk about how things was when you was a child coming up and how things were and situations you were in and how you got out of them? And that's what this is with David. This isn't with you or about you. It's David. Let's finish it up. He said, I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. You know how we know what he's talking about? Let's go to Amos 9 and 11. You see, you don't live in the house of the Lord. You live in your little house made by men. You live in your little place, your apartment or condo or whatever it's called. You live in that. You do not live in the house of the Lord. David dwelled and lived in the temple, in the tabernacle. It says, let's read this. Let's read this. Amos 9 and 11. Now, how do we know that David's going to reign? That thing over there that those people built up, that's not the tabernacle of David. That's not the tabernacle of the Lord. That's not the tabernacle that David was going to live in. Let's read. In that day, I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. Who is I? Is I some fucking freak, nasty, dirty, filthy, pilchard cattle living over in Israel? Is that who I is? Is that some people who follow their name with wish? I wish I was what I say I am? That says, I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen. It ain't up. God's going to bring it up. God's going to rebuild it. God's going to make that tabernacle over there. He says, I will close up the breaches and close up the breaches thereof. He going to fix it where can't nobody get in. And I will raise up his ruins. David's ruin. King David's ruins. His tabernacle's going to be rebuilt. That's not you. You don't have a tabernacle. You don't dwell in God's tabernacle. King David will. He said, I will raise up his ruins and I will build it as in the days of old. Because David said, Let's see what David said. Let's be clear on this thing. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now, do you understand anything that I just said? I know you do, Israel, because you are growing, you are learning, and you are getting an understanding. There are so, and we're going to hit on them, because I asked the Father, please let me tell them, because our people they grab a hold of something. I know a lot of you want to teach. A lot of you. It's a spirit down in Israel. They want to do it so bad. Listen, we didn't want to teach. We were so afraid. How stupid would we look? We ain't nobody. What do you mean teach? Tell somebody something. Who are we? We can't tell anybody anything. But we have to. Because God allows us to. He told us to. So when we come to you, we don't come to you to belittle you, to make fun of you. But Israel, you are a nation, the greatest nation ever created. You are a people unlike any other people. I know you get it. I know you understand.